Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news show, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show is live on Wednesday at noon and rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Saturday at noon, 3 and 6.
Coming up, Fire Hero, more Quagga mussels concerns, Colorado economy, and more.
And also a hit-and-run 3-car crash with weather, sheriff's news, and area happenings. Today is June 21st, 2017, and now the news at noon. Reported in the Durango Herald, firefighters on Friday credited Kevin Abieta, 24, of Durango with sacrificing his life to save a mother and 2 children from a townhome fire. Corolla Hanks, fire marshal for the Durango Fire Protection District, said it's time to give Kevin his due. He was on his way out of the building, turned around and said, "The kids," and went back in. Family and friends identified the mother as Grisela Picasso of Durango, and her 2 boys as Ira, 5, and Rivers, age 10. Picasso was taken to University of Colorado Hospital in Aurora with respiratory injuries. Her son, Ira, was taken to Children's Hospital, Colorado, with second-degree burns to his left side and respiratory injuries. His father, Anthony Martinez, who lives in Taos, New Mexico, said he was in critical but stable condition last Friday. The older boy, Rivers, was treated at Mercy Regional Medical Center and released. Martinez is so thankful to Kevin for saving the lives of others. The cause of the fire that destroyed much of the Tercero townhouse complex remains under investigation. Firefighters received the call at 1:48 a.m. last Wednesday and arrived 5 minutes later to find the building in the 2100 block of West 3rd Avenue ablaze. About 20 permanent residents of the 9-unit complex were displaced. Grisela Picasso and her boys were staying temporarily with her sister, Hilda Picasso, at the townhome. Hilda Picasso was a permanent resident in unit number 2123, which she shared with Abieta and his husband, Tony Del Solar. In an interview Friday, Del Solar said it's no surprise investigators are calling his husband a hero. Hanks said firefighters never doubted Del Solar's story, but they wanted to conduct a thorough investigation, including talking to people who were inside the unit before endorsing that version of events. As of Friday morning, firefighters and police had no doubt Abieto's actions saved the mother and boys. Abieta and Del Solar opened Los Amigos del Sur, a Mexican restaurant, in April inside the main mall. The restaurant was closed in the days after the fire but reopened Friday. In at least a half-dozen interviews, friends and family described Abieta as a generous soul. Del Solar said Abieta, a Durango native, was one of the hardest workers he has ever met. He maintained 2 or 3 jobs until giving all of his time to the restaurant. A GoFundMe site has been set up to help the family of Kevin Abieta.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a Durango man was found guilty Friday of mowing down 2 pedestrians while driving drunk last year in downtown Durango. Cruz Baca, age 39, showed little reaction to the guilty verdicts. His attorney patted him on the back. Sentencing is set for 11 a.m. August 25th. Jurors deliberated about 4 hours before returning guilty verdicts on vehicular assault while driving drunk, leaving the scene of an accident, careless driving, and misdemeanor assault. He was found not guilty on 2 counts of failure to yield to pedestrians. He faces probation, a community correction sentence, or up to 6 years in prison on the most serious charge. The 5-day jury trial, overseen by Judge William Herringer, started Monday in 6th Judicial District Court in Durango. 7 women and 7 men served on the jury, including 2 alternates. Baca declined to testify in his own defense. Baca was driving west on College Drive about 2:10 a.m. October 16th when he struck 2 pedestrians in a crosswalk at East 2nd Avenue. Instead of stopping, he kept driving until he reached his house at 1208 Avenida del Sol. Darby Hummer and Alan Damon Balfour were crossing College Drive from north to south when the pickup hit them, according to witnesses. Baca did not hit the brakes before impact, and he kept driving west on College Drive, turning right on Main Avenue or Camino del Rio. Hummer suffered a fractured pelvis and a gash to her forehead that required 10 stitches. Balfour suffered road rash to his back and a knee injury.
Reported in the Cortez Journal, a bill introduced in Congress on May 25th would name 2 13,000-foot peaks in the Wilson Range after 2 well-known mountaineers from Norwood. U.S. Senators Michael Bennet, Democrat, and Cory Gardner, Republican, along with U.S. Representative Scott Tipton, Republican of Cortez, have introduced a bill to name the peaks in honor of Charlie Fowler and Christine Boscoff, who died in a 2006 avalanche while attempting to summit Genyan Peak in Tibet. Not only were Charlie and Christine two of the most accomplished climbers in the world, but they also were integral members of our Southwest Colorado community, Bennett said. Throughout their careers, they were always giving back, mentoring students, advocating for human rights, and introducing people to their love of climbing. Over the course of their careers, Fowler and Boscoff summited several 26,000-foot mountain peaks, including Mount Everest. Fowler, who was known in Southwest Colorado for building climbing walls in schools, received the Robert and Miriam Underhill Award for Outstanding Mountaineering Achievement from the American Alpine Club in 2004. Boscoff, who was one of the world's most accomplished American female mountain climbers, contributed countless hours to nonprofit organizations that supported the rights of porters and Sherpas, women's education, global literacy, and gender equality. She is considered one of the most accomplished female climbers in North America and owned Mountain Madness, still considered one of the leading mountaineering schools and international guide services in America. Steve Johnson, Fowler's good friend and climbing partner, has been working towards naming the peaks after the couple for years. He and Fowler worked on access issues together, including for Wilson Peak, put up the first ascents on local crags, and served on San Miguel Search and Rescue together. Johnson, a Telluride attorney, said, "The bill highlights the growing role of recreation in our public lands and adventurous spirit of western Colorado. The Fowler and Boscoff Peaks Designation Act would designate two unnamed 13,000-foot mountain peaks on the border of San Miguel and Dolores counties after the couple. The peaks are located in the Uncompahgre National Forest near Navajo Basin and Elk Creek Basin and the Wilson Range, about 10 miles southwest of Telluride and 5 miles northwest of Lizard Head Pass on Colorado Highway 145. The mountains offer many opportunities for recreational climbing and hiking. The bill to name them after the climbers was recently referred to the Subcommittee on Federal Lands for review."
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a Jeep Cherokee hit two other vehicles on Main Street in Durango about 1:30 p.m. Tuesday in Cortez, according to Cortez police. The Jeep started on Mildred Road and jumped the curb near the Colorado Welcome Center while heading west on Main Street, swerved back onto the road and jumped the curb again before hitting a Chevrolet Tahoe near Dolores State Bank. It then swerved off Main Street, shearing off a power pole in front of the front row seat, and then hit the pickup in front of City Market, 508 East Main Street. Lieutenant Andy Brock of the Cortez Police Department said police still aren't sure what caused the accident, as the Jeep driver did not appear to be intoxicated. "It doesn't sound like she was aware there was a traffic accident," Brock said. A passenger in the Jeep, the driver's 92-year-old mother, was transported to Southwest Memorial Hospital with several broken bones, Brock said. The driver also voluntarily went to the hospital, although she did not appear to be seriously injured. No one in the other two vehicles received serious injuries, Brock said. He said he expected charges to be filed against the driver of the Jeep, but they were still pending as of late Tuesday afternoon. He said he could not release the names of anyone involved in the accident.
In the continued fight against the sneaky quagga mussels, the Cortez Journal reports commissioners in Montezuma County voted to restrict Sage Hen Road access. Montezuma County commissioners voted on Monday to continue the temporary closure of County Road X in the Sage Hen area until November 30th. The closure of Road X and side roads to McPhee Reservoir is to prevent motorized boats from launching onto the lake without an inspection for the invasive quagga mussel. All motorized and trailered boats must launch from the House Creek or McPhee boat launches when boat inspection stations are open. Commissioners and McPhee managers emphasize that the road closures are temporary until a solution is created by a new working group that provides reasonable lake recreation access while protecting McPhee from contamination by the problematic mussel, which damages irrigation structures. Ken Curtis, engineer with the Dolores Water Conservancy District, said, "We have to be active in preventing the mussel contamination. States that were passive in their approach ended up with the mussel and all the problems. In the past month, concrete barriers have been installed at any point where a vehicle could potentially get to the shoreline and launch a motorized boat or jet ski. Room is provided for ATVs, bikes, horses, and motorcycles to get around the barriers. Non-motorized, hand-launched boats such as canoes, kayaks, rafts, sailboards, and stand-up boards are considered lower risk for carrying the mussel and can launch onto the lake from anywhere without being inspected. For now, Road X has been blocked just past the corrals and Sage Trailhead. During a public hearing on the road closure, several residents expressed concerns and suggested solutions. A member of Mesa Verde Backcountry Horsemen said the area needs more room for parking to accommodate horse trailers. Another resident of Road X said keeping the multiple use access at Sage Hen is essential for the community to continue free activities like going to the lake shore to picnic, fish, and recreate, and senior citizens use the lake. They need convenient access. A statement was made that the public safety agencies need to have keys to any future gates in order to do mosquito spraying and respond to accidents and emergencies, such as the wildfire that occurred in the area last summer. Lake and county officials said maintenance, emergency personnel, and law enforcement will have complete access. Officials say boat inspection for Sage Hen is the ideal solution, but funding is not available at this time except for the stations at McPhee and House Creek. Tom Rice, Recreation Manager for the San Juan National Forest, said in May there were 644 boat inspections at the McPhee boat ramp, compared with 371 in May 2016, a 73% increase. Our numbers are impressive because we are the only show in town for motorized boating.
Reported by the Durango Herald, the global obesity problem now affects 1 in 10 people in the world. It is rising in countries rich and poor, and in many countries it is increasing faster in children than adults, according to a new study. The researchers estimated more than 107 million children and 603 million adults are obese. The research found obesity has tripled in children and young adults in countries like China, Brazil, and Indonesia. Those numbers are particularly troubling because it means more young people are on track to become obese adults and develop problems like diabetes, heart disease, and a range of cancers, some experts said. The study was led by a team at the University of Washington in Seattle. It was published online Monday by the New England Journal of Medicine and presented at a food science and policy meeting in Stockholm. Researchers reported on 195 countries, although data was incomplete or non-existent for many of them. They made assumptions and used mathematical modeling to fill in gaps. Despite the limitations, this is the best picture that's out there for global obesity, said Edward Gregg, a diabetes expert at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. He wrote an editorial that accompanied the study. Egypt had the highest rate of obese adults. Vietnam had the lowest. China had the largest number of obese children with 15 million. India had 14 million. Globally, about 4 million deaths were attributed to being overweight or obese in 2014 from causes like heart disease and diabetes. And now, here's our weather report.
If you look online at weather.gov for the 7-day National Weather Service forecast for the Dove Creek zip code, it says there's a 20% chance of isolated showers this afternoon. Look at that regional image though. The fine print says that these isolated showers will produce strong gusty winds with little measurable rainfall, think traces, and mainly over the northern mountains. They say chances of lightning are low but present, so critical fire weather is on the borderline and no watches are yet issued. Tomorrow, the same type of activity is possible for isolated dry thunderstorms, and winds will increase a bit over today's. However, the latest models say 5 to 10 today and 5 to 15 tomorrow, and that's just a little less than earlier models and will make critical fire weather conditions less likely for Thursday than earlier forecast. Tomorrow's disturbance will leave in the form of a weak cold front passing through early Friday morning. The result will be temperatures that are only 5 degrees above normal, and that flow will continue through Saturday. After that, Sunday will see the buildup of another ridge of high pressure that will run on into Tuesday. Tropical storm Cindy, just off the Louisiana coast, will move into the western and central Gulf Coast and produce heavy rain over the lower Mississippi Valley and southern and central Gulf Coast today. Some of her thunderstorms may be severe, shown in red, and flash flooding, shown in the yellow, is likely. The older front just to the north will aid in the development of showers and thunderstorm over parts of the southern mid-Atlantic to parts of the southeast through late tonight. Cindy's moisture will move into parts of Tennessee and the southern Ohio valleys on Thursday and through Thursday evening, producing showers and thunderstorms over those areas. Another front extending from the northern plains to parts of the Great Basin and a warm front extending from the northern plains into the Ohio Valley will make severe thunderstorms possible over those areas today and pass through the upper Mississippi Valley and Great Lakes today as well. That front will lift northward into parts of the Great Lakes and the northern mid-Atlantic and into the southern high plains by tomorrow evening. Energy over the central and southern Rockies will produce showers and thunderstorm over parts of the central and southern Rockies Wednesday and Thursday afternoon into evening. As we noted in our regional forecasts, the nature of those activities in the Rockies is likely just traces of moisture. Highs are on the decline. Today's last forecast was set at 91, and whether tomorrow will reach that 94, we'll see. Friday should be the last 90, with the 3 following days in the upper 80s. Lows all in the mid-50s with little fluctuation. Mild breeze conditions will prevail except where those isolated dry storms occur, and the gusts they will give you'll notice as strong. The high pressure system will rule for today and Thursday. Friday and into the weekend, it will sink southward as a cooler bit of drier northwest flow moves in. Now back to the news.
According to the Durango Herald, it sounds futuristic. Drones carrying heart defibrillators swooping in to help bystanders revive people stricken by cardiac arrest. Researchers tested the idea and found drones arrived at the scene of 18 cardiac arrests within about 5 minutes of launch. That was almost 17 minutes faster on average than ambulances, a big deal for a condition where minutes mean life or death. Drone-delivered devices weren't used on patients in the preliminary study, but the results are pretty remarkable and proof that the idea is worth exploring, said Dr. Clyde Yancey, a former American Heart Association president who was not involved in the study. Cardiac arrest is a leading cause of death worldwide, killing more than 6 million people each year. Most happen at home or in other non-medical settings, and most patients don't survive. To see if care would be improved, Andreas Clayson's team turned to drones. The researchers used a small heart defibrillator weighing less than 2 pounds, featuring an electronic voice that gives instructions on how to use the device. It was attached to a small drone equipped with 4 small propeller-like rotors, a global positioning device, and camera. They launched the drone from a fire station within about 6 miles, 10 kilometers, from homes where people had previous cardiac arrests. In the study's video footage simulating a rescue, a drone soars over residential rooftops and then lands gently in a backyard. A man dashes out of the house, grabs a defibrillator, and carries it inside. There were no crashes or other mishaps during the study, Clayson said. He plans a follow-up study to test drone-delivered defibrillators for bystanders to use in real-life cardiac arrests. The test results show a great potential for saving lives, he said.
This spring, millions of bizarre, primitive-seeming jellyfish-like bioluminescent sea creatures more than 2 feet long started gumming up research nets, glomming onto fishing hooks and cascading onto beaches along the west coast. These stubby, gelatinous animals are called pyrosomes. Each is technically a colony of other multicelled animals called zooids, and are cone-shaped tunicates normally found in the tropics, once in a while as far north as British Columbia. This spring they started swarming the eastern Pacific in masses never before recorded, from Oregon to the Gulf of Alaska. Jennifer Fisher, a faculty research assistant with Oregon State University's Hatfield Marine Science Center, said, "It's really weird. I've never seen anything like it." Neither had Rick Brodeur, a research biologist at NOAA's Northwest Fisheries Science Center in Oregon. He's been studying jellies and other gelatinous creatures in the Pacific Northwest for 30 years. Normally, pyrosomes are so rare that a Canadian scientist who puts together an annual State of the Ocean report had never ever heard of them. West Coast scientists could find scant information about them in scientific literature. It's not clear whether there will be significant ecological implications. Most scientists suspect there would have to be. It's just impossible to predict what those effects might be. Pyrosomes, meaning fire bodies, are typically found in places such as the Ivory Coast or the Mediterranean Sea, or waters off Australia and Florida. Some can reach 30 feet or more in length. They are firm, like cucumbers, and covered with tiny bumps, but I don't suggest eating them because they ooze a gelatinous pus when handled, and too little is known about them. One fisherman put a few in a bucket and eventually threw them overboard. Only later did he notice that the bucket was glowing. It's not completely clear what all these creatures may eat, only that it must be a ton. They tend to eat very fine particles, but they have to consume a lot to reach those densities. No one is really sure what eats them either. Some sablefish, also called black cod, were seen regurgitating the pyrosomes. Already, some scientists fear there are so many in the water that when the animals finally die, their decomposing bodies may suck vast amounts of oxygen from coastal areas, posing risk to other marine life. For something that's never really been here before, the densities are just mind-boggling, said Laurie Whitecamp, another biologist with the Northwest Fisheries Science Center. We're just scratching our heads. No, I will not accept them as invading aliens, but feel free if you want to.
According to the Cortez Journal, at their meeting Monday, Mancos School District board members and administrators expressed their excitement at the official approval of their Building Excellent Schools Today grant project, which happened last week at the Colorado State Board of Education's regular meeting. The Colorado Department of Education BEST Grant Board on May 18th recommended granting the district $19.79 million for the project, which has a total price tag of about $25 million. The state board had the final say and approved the BEST board's recommendations on June 15th. The district will seek an additional $5 million for the project through a bond issue that Mancos residents will vote on in November. The district hopes to start the 2-year construction project in spring 2018, according to Superintendent Brian Hansen. Hansen said he was very happy the project was approved. School Board President Blake Mitchell said at first the BEST board was not going to approve the Mancos project, but the board was able to move some money around to fund the Mancos project, Mitchell said. Board member Monty Giles said attending the BEST board meeting and learning about other projects showed him that lots of districts across the state have critical needs. Board member Pam Coppinger added that the BEST board activity was extraordinary.
From the Durango Herald, Colorado's economy continues to chug along, but at a slower rate than was anticipated, according to a pair of revenue forecasts released Tuesday by state economists. The slowdown could lead the legislature to draw on its reserve funds to offset a shortfall in expected income tax revenue, which accounts for nearly 2/3 of the state's general fund. Natalie Mullis, chief economist at the Colorado Legislative Council, said growth has slowed because Colorado's economy is at or close to its productive capacity, meaning it may have reached maximum growth based on factors such as population, infrastructure, and available resources. An example of a constraining factor is housing construction. While construction is growing, availability is low, particularly in comparison to population growth, which is driving up home values and leading to affordability concerns. If the state has neared its productive capacity, it will cause the economy to settle into a slower growth pattern through 2019, which is as far as the forecast projects, while the state's capacity is expanded. Mullis added that the growth projection could be off because of unforeseen factors. Changes include increased automation, an aging population, which is affecting the consumer and labor market, as well as shadow markets that operate within the state but outside of its purview, such as the online sales market. But it is also possible that the economy is operating beyond capacity, which could, in a worst-case scenario, lead to a recession in the forecast period. The slow but steady growth means the state's budget is expected to grow by 1.8% for the upcoming fiscal year, which is slower than estimated in March and budgeted for by the legislature's Joint Budget Committee, causing a gap that must be balanced. While income tax revenue as a whole underperformed, wage withholdings overperformed by $95 million. That is a result of an upward trend in salaries across the state that should continue into 2017, when salaries are expected to grow by 5.6% in Colorado. The growth would exceed the expected national salary growth of 5.2% and the cost of inflation, which is estimated to be 2.5%, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Colorado's economic growth can also be seen in its unemployment rate, which is the lowest in the nation at 2.3%. The economy of less populated areas of the state are, however, lagging behind and experiencing lower job and income growth than the Front Range, particularly areas dependent on agriculture.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of June 12th through the 18th. The Sheriff's Office received a report of a hit and run accident in Rico. Colorado State Patrol was contacted to investigate the accident. An officer responded to a report of a domestic dispute at a local residence. Officers responded to a local residence on a complaint of trespassing. The officer found that the subject was disoriented and having medical issues. Dove Creek Ambulance was dispatched to transport to the hospital. That's it for this week's Roundup. Stay tuned next week for more info.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. July 8th, a paint and sip evening of artist-led painting accompanied by a selection of delicious wines and light snacks will be held at the Cortez Cultural Center. No matter your skill level, the experienced instructor will help you create a colorful painting to take home and enjoy. The price is $28 or $35 for members or non-members. It includes a 16 by 20 canvas, paint supplies, instruction, a beverage, 21 for alcohol beverages, and light snacks. Additional beverages available for purchase. No refunds within 48 hours of the event. Visit them on Facebook at Cortez Cultural Center. And later in July, Monday the 24th, from 2:30 to 5:30 at the Dove Creek Community Center, they will hold the Battle of the Badges Blood Drive 2017. To schedule an appointment, call or text Kristen at 505-686-9777 or go online to bloodhero.com. Sponsor code Dove Creek. All donors will get a Battle of the Badges t-shirt and vote for their favorite first responder. And next Monday, June 26 in Cortez, DARE and the pool staff are offering free to all grade school and middle school students a dive-in movie. From 6 to 9 p.m. there's DJ music and the movie starts at 8:30 p.m. Bring your own floaty for watching the movie in the pool and bring warmer clothes for the movie as it gets chilly into the evening. All of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call us at the station 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs live at noon Monday through Wednesday, then rebroadcasts at 3 and 6 p.m., and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
And be sure to check out our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.